Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Millennium TV News. This is Rafiq Pramanik with top stories. United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. Make our planet green again. Francis Macron rebukes Trump. Gunman spreads panic at Manila Casino, robbery suspected. Chilean police clash with protesting students. Justice Kennedy eye retirement, leaving liberal nervous. Those are the headlines. Now the details. US President Donald Trump announces the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement following through on a pledge he made during the presidential campaign. President Donald Trump on Thursday announces his decision to pull the United States out of a landmark global pact to fight climate change in the Paris Accord. The president announced in the White House Rose Garden that the U.S. will begin negotiations to re-enter the Paris Accord or a new accord on terms fair to the U.S. An American withdrawal promised by Trump during the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign would depend a rift with U.S. allies and align the United States with Syria and Nicaragua as the world's only non-participants in the landmark 195-nation accord agreed upon in Paris in 2015. In a televised address, French President Emmanuel Macron rolled out any renegotiation of the Paris Climate Accord after President Trump pulled out of the agreement on Thursday. French President Emmanuel Macron categorically ruled out any renegotiation of the Paris Climate Accord on Thursday. US President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw would harm American interests and citizens, said Macron. Macron, who made a televised address in France and English, said Trump's decision was a mistake for the US and the planet. He added that there will be no renegotiation. I reaffirm clearly that the Paris Agreement remains irreversible and will be implemented not just by France but by all the other nations. A gunman burst into a casino, freed shots and set gaming tables alight in the Philippine capital early on Friday, showing panic in a country on high alert after martial law was declared in the south, but police said the motive was likely robbery. Chilean police clashed with the protesting students. Police in armored vehicles sprayed tear gas and water cannon at demonstrators, many of whom fired back, throwing rocks, sticks and pushing metal fences in the road during a student-led demonstration for better education reform. Demonstrators clashed with police in Santiago on Thursday during a student-led march for better education reform. Led by the Chilean Students' Union, protesters come together to protest the closure of the Arts University and reject reform bills being discussed in Congress. Police in armored vehicles sprayed tear gas and water cannon at demonstrators, many of whom fired back, throwing rocks, sticks and pushing metal fences in the road as barricades. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy is rumored to be considering retirement while President Donald Trump is in office, leaving liberals nervous about losing the often moderate Kennedy, who has been an ally on social issues like abortion and gay marriage. As Donald Trump threatens to pull out of the Paris climate deal, focus is shifting to China, which alongside the EU could become a globally influential voice on global warming. As Reuters Shanghai correspondent David Story explains, that might mean more global political influence for Beijing. British Prime Minister Theresa May called on voters on Thursday to back her in UK's general election to build a more united country. Speaking at a campaign event in Guideborough on Thursday, British Prime Minister Theresa May said the Conservatives will make a success of Brexit and will bring the country together after the polarizing result. As we come together behind this great national mission to make a success of Brexit and the opportunities it brings, we will build a more united Britain, the Prime Minister said. President Abdul Hamid on Thursday authenticated the national budget for the fiscal year of 2017-2018 and the revised budget for 2016 and 17 for placing before the Jatiya Sanshad by Finance Minister A.M.A. Mohit. The President authenticated the budget at his Jatiya Sanshad Bhavan office. Finance Minister A.M.A. Mohit, Finance Secretary Hidayatullah Al-Mamun and Chairman of the National Board of Revenue Najibur Rahman were present. Earlier on his arrival at the Jatiya Sanshad Bhavan, Abdul Hamid was received by Deputy Speaker Fadl Rabbi Mia. The fourth budget session of the 10th Parliament began at 11 a.m. with Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary in the chair. Finance Minister A.M.A. Mohit will place the national budget for the upcoming fiscal year 2017 and 18 at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday. The budget session will continue till 13 July next. The decisions were taken at a meeting of the Business Advisory Committee of the House held at the Jatiya Sanshad Bhavan earlier in the day with the Speaker in the chair. The meeting also decided that the House will sit at 10:30 am on every working day during the month of Ramadan. The Speaker will have the authority to bring any changes to the duration of the sittings and extend or curtail its length. The government has announced the names of the recipients of the Prime Minister's National Awards for Tree Plantation 2016 and National Environment Award 2017. 27 individuals and organizations have been nominated for the Prime Minister's National Award for Tree Plantation in 9 categories for their contribution to tree plantation. Meanwhile, Deputy Commissioner of Borishal Ghazi Amri Saifuজ্জামান Mokarram Hussain from Green Road in the capital and Square Pharmaceuticals Limited have been chosen for the National Environment Award in 2 categories. The Environment and Forest Ministry issued separate gazette notification on May 25 in this regard. Now the news on environment, science and technology. Researchers built what they described as a dynamic version of Google Street View by combining millions of images and videos into a 3-dimensional living model of the city of Zurich. By scouring the internet for images and videos, a smart algorithm built this 3D model of Zurich. The platform called where city updates in real time when new images are found, effectively creating a living, evolving 3D model of the city. Heiko, postdoctoral research at Zurich University project manager, saying aerial data, drone data, static webcams and publicity available Flickr images. Japanese facial recognition system tightens concert security. A new facial recognition system could enhance the security and ID checks at gigs and concerts, according to its Japanese developers. Demonstrating the facial recognition system from Taipei.co, its developers say it could help strengthen security at concert and live events. Executive Managing Director Taipei.co Takawaki Tomiso was saying the facial recognition system identifies a person by checking 2 facial photos, one you registered in advance when purchasing a ticket and the other to be filmed when you enter a concert. President Donald Trump has announced that the US is withdrawing from the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. He said moves to negotiate a new fair deal that would not disadvantage US business and workers would begin. Mr. Trump said during last year's presidential election campaign that he would take the step to help his country swell and quell industries. Opponents said withdrawing from the accord is an abdication of US leadership on a key global challenges. The Paris Agreement commits the US and 187 other countries to keeping rising global temperature while below 2 centigrade above pre-industrial levels and innovate to limit them even more to 1.5 centigrade. Viewers, now the news on business. Wall Street setup on economy. US stocks advances with each of the major US indexes notching records high after a batch of economic data suggested that economy was picking up speed. Stocks closed in the green on a better than expected private sector hiring report and positive manufacturing data. The ADP numbers showed that the labor market continues to strengthen, further hosting chances of a rate hike by the Federal Reserve later this month. The report says the stakes for the Labor Department jobs data due on Friday. Stocks extended gains after the Institute for Supply Management said U.S. factory activity eased up in the May after 2 slow months. The Chinese-built Mombasa-Nairobi Railway makes its inaugural ride, replacing a 100-year-old system famous for the lions, which once terrorized its workers. Kenya celebrating the debut of a brand new $3.2 billion rail line, almost entirely funded by China. A new era for both countries as China expands a multi-billion-dollar series of projects aimed at upgrading trade routes through Eurasia and Africa. Neil Wilson, senior market analyst at TX Capital, saying, "I think the railway in Africa in Kenya is a fantastic example of how China is starting to take control of global trade as we see the United States take a step back with Donald Trump." Viewers, now the news on entertainment. More than 10,000 unscrupulous people have falsely claimed that they were at the scene of the Manchester attack in order to get free tickets for Sunday's benefit concert. Ticketmaster has said the agency said opportunists or touts had tried to take advantage of its offer for those who were at the Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena. It has said fans at the original show can get into Sunday's event for free. Some 25,000 people applied, but just 14,200 were at the concert on 22nd May. News on sports. Joe Root scored an unbeaten century as tournament host England beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets in the opening match of the 2017 Champions Trophy at the Oval on Thursday. England set 306 for victory, finished on 308 for 2 with 16 balls to spare. Root was a career-best 133 not out, and England captain Ian Morgan 75 not out, with their unbroken stand at 143. Opener Alex Hull was out for 95. Earlier Bangladesh made 305 for 6 after losing the toss. Tamim Iqbal top scored with 128 and put on 166 for the third wicket with Mushfiqur Rahim. But when the both batsmen were out in successive deliveries from first bowler Liam Plunkett, the innings flattered. Plunkett led England's attack with the 4 wickets for 59 runs from his maximum 10 overs. Chelsea were paid 150 euro ATM by the Premier League after winning the 2016 and 17 title, 50% more than the top earners in 2015 and 16. The 2016 and 17 season was the first of the latest TV deal, and so a total of almost 2.4 billion euro paid to the 20 clubs, up from the 1.6 billion euro last season. Bottom club Sunderland got 93.471 million euro, more than the 93.219 million to 2015 and 16 winners Leicester Park the previous season. Viewers, let's have a look Millennium TV News recap. United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. Make our planet green again. Francis Macron rebukes Trump. Gunman spreads panic at Manila casino, robbery suspected. Chilean police clash with protesting students. Justice Kennedy eye retirement, leaving liberal nervous. Viewers, to get any kinds of news, log in our social media, facebook.com/MillenniumTVUSA and youtube.com/MillenniumTVUSA. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on Millennium TV, and don't forget to log in our website www.millenniumtv.org. Thank you and stay with Millennium TV. Allah Hafiz.